What's going on, everybody? Lisa here, and holy cow, it's been a long time since I've done a TV recap. If you are new to my channel, you probably don't know the difference, but if you've been here for a while, you know that for a period of time I was doing TV recaps, and then kind of towards the end of 2019, and then with the crazy 2020 we had, I had to take a break, mainly for my own mental health. It was more of me kind of falling out of love with TV, thinking it was a job every time I had to watch an episode of shows that I did like, started to not like them. But also some of the shows I was covering, they just kind of went so crazy that I even was like, I don't know if I'm a fan of this anymore. But I do promise that I am trying my best to get back into the groove of doing these recaps. And so I am going to start with this show that I have been so excited for. It is called The Challenge All-Stars, otherwise known as We Want OGs, a movement that was started by Mark Long, the Godfather. He started this like a year ago, and in less than a year, they have this show filmed and on air on Paramount Plus. And that in itself is such a wild thing to say for anybody that knows anything about TV production. It's crazy, but I myself have been a fan of The Challenge for a very long time. I started watching, my very first season was Battle of the Sexes in 2002-2003, which was also Anissa's very first season, and that girl is still holding it down on the actual main challenge on MTV. But I am so excited that when they announced this show, I was like, I hope that it gives my love of the challenge, or brings my love of the challenge back. I've been watching every season since 2002. I still watch the main one. We got Double Agents going on right now, but it's just a different mood. I didn't want to recap that show because, well, first of all, cable, MTV, I have a hard time getting it on my computer, but other than that, it's just kind of changed so much that it's not as fun. Like, it's fun, but it's not as fun, if you know kind of what I'm saying. So I am just hoping that now with this show, which is a 9-episode special on Paramount Plus that will hopefully go multiple seasons, that it will bring back that love of the challenge, that fun, but also competitiveness that we had if you watched the challenge. And after watching this episode, I have to say that if you were an old school fan of the challenge, and for some reason the new seasons have just made you be like, oh, this is so boring, I don't like seeing this, or who this person, or whatever, I think you should give this a chance. This is worth the free trial on Paramount Plus, or, you know, borrow your friend's account, whatever you gotta do, I don't know. But I would suggest watching this if you were an old school fan. First of all, you'll love the cast, and then just the whole feel and the way that it's set up is such a great mix between old school and kind of what we have in the new era. Let's talk about this cast. Now, obviously, there are people that are missing from this cast that you would think are OGs or all-stars or legends, and there's some people on this cast that you're like, why are they on here? Well, there's a lot, but let's go ahead and just run down the cast, and then I'll give my thoughts on those. We have Ace Amerson from Real World Paris, who did 4 challenges. Alton Williams, Real World Las Vegas, 4 challenges, 1 win. Anissa Ferreira, Real World Chicago, 14 challenges. Arissa Hill, Real World Las Vegas, 1 challenge. Beth from Real World Los Angeles, 7 challenges. Darrell Taylor, Road Rules Campus Crawl, 9 challenges, 5 wins. Derek Kaczynski, Road Rules Extreme, 10 challenges, 3 wins. Eric Big Easy Banks, Challenge Fresh Meat, 6 challenges. Jemmy Carroll, Real World Back to New Orleans, 7 challenges. Hisela is from Road Rules The Quest, 3 challenges. We have John A. from Real World Cancun, 5 challenges. Katie Cooley, who was formerly known as Katie Doyle from Road Rules The Quest, 9 challenges, 1 win. Kelly Ann from Real World Sydney, 4 challenges. Kendall Shepard, Road Rules Campus Crawl, 1 challenge, 1 win. Latarian from Road Rules Maximum Velocity, 3 challenges. Mark Long, Road Rules Season 1, 6 challenges, 2 wins. Nehemiah from Real World Austin, 4 challenges, 1 win. Ruthie from Real World Hawaii, 4 challenges. Cyrus from Real World Boston, 5 challenges, 1 win. Tech Holmes, Real World Hawaii, 1 challenge. Trishelle, Real World Vegas, 4 challenges. And yes, Duffy, Road Rules Semester at Sea, 3 challenges, 1 win. Obviously, we're missing so many people that I hope it would work out if they see how the show is done, because I think this was a lot of unknowns for people. You didn't know if the show would work, what kind of challenges they'd be doing, what the prize pot would be like. So I think a lot of people were hesitant. Now that they see how much press this season is getting and how much people are excited about it, and I think how much people will just think the show's been done really well in the first place, that maybe more people will come out of retirement and do this, especially since it takes a little less time to film than the main challenge. But that's the cast that we have. We also had a bunch of alternates that didn't get to obviously appear on the show, but in something that's completely different. We've had more social media stuff from this cast to hype us up. We have pictures of them at the airport, and they've even let the alternates document their own time on their own journey doing, traveling and whatever they were doing while the main challenge was going on. And those alternates that we had were Casey from Fresh Meat, we had Cook from Real World Las Vegas 2, and she was on Rivals 2, we had Kahutta, Sophia from Road Rules The Quest, and Ryan Kehoe. And if you go to Casey Cooper's Instagram, she has a whole Instagram story highlight of their adventures, just them off by themselves, and that in itself is a great show. But I hope that this makes way for a lot of these people who want to do the challenge again. If they can't do All-Stars, that they can even bring some of these people back to the main challenge and spice that show up. I feel like we need half and half. If not half and half, you definitely need more representation from the OGs. Okay, but that's a really long-winded intro to if you just wanted an episode recap of this first episode. So let's get into it. We have everybody coming to Argentina to battle for $500,000, which is way more than the majority of these people have ever competed for. Back when they were on the challenge, they were splitting, $50,000 among like 10 people. It is wild, but they got more prizes back then, which they've kind of cut down on the prizes unless you're Darrell, who won a lifetime worth of Whoppers on the current season. We start off with throwback clips of some of the contestants' best and worst moments, and they start coming off the bus, and we get a few updates on what some of the cast have been up to. We don't get everybody, and that's something that I think MTV missed their chance on. When Double Agent started, they had a whole episode before the season, which you could have just called it the first episode, who cares? But it set up for who the new people were and what was going on and them moving into the house and all of that. And then when they called it the season premiere, we just got right down to business with the challenges and whatever. I think if you really wanted to get that audience, yes, you can play the trailer 500 times in every commercial break, which they have been doing lately. But I think the best way that they could have gotten more people to go from MTV to Paramount Plus so that we can get more viewers for the show would have been to do a preview episode on MTV, the main channel, of just what these people have been up to and what we know them for. A best of the best, a highlight reel, kind of. That could have been a whole 30-minute to an hour episode on MTV that would have gotten people stoked, people who didn't know that the Challenge All-Stars was even happening, that Paramount Plus is a thing. Would have been a great segue to get people over to Paramount Plus for this show. But instead, we're cut down to like 2-second explanations of I got a kid now, or for, and not even for everybody, but I'm sure we'll get more people's stories as the show progresses. But yeah, everybody's coming off the bus. We get Katie Cooley as the first confessional, which she's always nailed it in confessionals, and I gotta say, she's freaking aging backwards. She looks amazing. A bunch of the cast, you got Darrell, who's obviously we've seen recently, but Beth, there's a lot of people on this show that look, actually, all of them look pretty much amazing, but so many just look like they've aged backwards. It's like, what is in their water that they're drinking? But the scene stealer of this opening part, getting off the bus, is Hassel.
So I'm 40 now. Ooh, do we do that? Oh, let's not even do that. Back to me being 25.
Okay, so after the bus part, everybody getting off the bus, which is something we kind of missed a little bit on the main challenge, but it used to be a staple of the old school challenge. We have everybody come together and sitting in front of TJ. Feels like the first time playing. And this is when we get the explanation of the format of the game. It's going to be an individual game, but it's going to be kind of in the style of what we saw in Free Agents, where sometimes there's going to be teams, sometimes it's going to be pairs, but ultimately it is an individual game where that one person will be winning $500,000, which and where the cast is sitting to meet TJ and get this news. It kind of is set up like, it's like tribal council where they're sitting on stumps and stuff. Then we go get moved into the house, and just like old times, it's set to, the boys are back in town, but also we get to see these people, the excitement on their face as they run off that bus and run into the house to fight for the best rooms. And that was always one of my favorite parts of the original challenge, was just seeing the house, which this house is pretty cool. gold helmets on the wall, their names in gold, from floor to ceiling. You have Beth's quote on the wall. It's just such a cool house, and just the excitement that they have moving into the house gets, as a viewer, me pumped to see what's going on. But now let's get to the first challenge. It's a hilarious one, but also so painful to watch. So by random, they say we're split into 2 teams of 11, the copper and the silver team. And let's just face it, one team has a million abs and the other team has everybody else with a few abs. It seems like you have the team of the underdogs, and then you have the team of was it Hasela, or somebody called them like the Greek gods over there. But what we have is a bunch of math equations where whoever's turn it is has to swim out and get the block with the number that fills in the math equation. Every person has to go at least once and at least has to attempt to go, but if you fail, you get a 5-minute penalty. And well, let's just say once the challenge starts and the people hit that water and find out just how dang cold it is, yeah, those 5-minute penalties are handed out left and right, and it's kind of like, is anybody even going to complete this challenge?
What the hell? I thought we were gonna be like hanging out, having a good time, having cocktails by the pool, but no, this is a real challenge.
And let me tell you, even though these guys are making fun of themselves for being, senior citizens and whatever, and us watching at home are like, come on, why can't they swim out there? That water, it's gotta be so cold. And I remember trying to do a pool workout once when it was like towards the end of summer, and the pool was way too cold to be in there, and I had trouble breathing, and that water's probably not even as cold as what these people are going into. So I gotta give them props for even trying. It looked like everybody at least tried, which was amazing. But before they actually jump in the water, each of these teams had to pick a team captain, 2 team captains actually, one male, 1 female, so it ends up being Letarian and Kellyanne for Team Copper, and Hasela and Tech for Team Silver. After all is said and done, the team with the state math champ, yes, Team Silver, pulls out this win, and that is a team that is made up of what we would call, or they called themselves mainly, the underdogs. And that team was really carried by, yes, Hasela, I think it was Nehemiah, and Darrell doing a lot of the swimming for the blocks and actually making it happen. And you gotta give a props to Hasela for being pretty much the only woman, or one of the only women, to be able to make it out there, get the block, and come back. The last time you saw her, she was pretty much quitting in an elimination with Ruthie, and it was TJ's first season, and he was not impressed with her, called her a quitter, said he was disappointed in her. So to come to now and to see Hasela as who she is, and TJ gives her props. It is such a full circle moment, and it was just another part of why I like this show. You see people progress, you see their whole arc, and even though we haven't seen her in a while, she's already had an arc just in this, first little episode. Teamwork was happening on the silver team, and they came out victorious. And what does that mean for the winners? Well, it means it's a male elimination day is what we found out, and Tech is now safe, and Letarian, the loser captain, is going to be going straight into the elimination. Kellyanne, she's safe. Obviously, nothing for her to do as a captain. For Hasela, as the female winning captain, she gets the lifesaver. They are bringing these lifesavers back, which we have not seen in a while, and that gives her the opportunity to save the person who's nominated for elimination if she wants to. Now, one thing we don't know is that if she saves them, is she the sole person who puts somebody in their place? Do they do another, team vote? We're not quite sure how that's going to work, so we'll have to wait and see if anybody actually uses the lifesaver. But now let's talk about how we get to the elimination. So Letarian is going in, and we see a conversation with him where he tells Cyrus he wants Ace, and really the only reason he has for that is because he has no connection whatsoever to Ace. How is that going to play out? Will the house go with what he wants? Well, we see everybody else march back up to that hill where their Survivor Tribal Council stumps are, and it's kind of just like, are you going to make them walk all the way out there just to do a deliberation and a nomination for each episode? Like, are you just trying to keep these people getting their steps every day? What is it? Like, you couldn't do it in a room in the house, like a lot of times every everybody does. I think it's just an aesthetic thing, but it's kind of funny to have to see them hike it all the way up like Survivor style to get to, to Deliberation. But once everybody's sitting down, Cyrus relays that Laterrian wants Ace, and of course, Ace just goes on the defensive, and the drama finally starts, because you know that if anything is gonna cause drama, it's gonna be a nomination, for the elimination, because nobody wants to go home, and nobody wants to be the first person to go home, and if anybody knows anything about that, it is Ace. Like, his first few challenges, he went home, first, second? Did he go home third? I don't know. He went home pretty early on all of them, but, one when he made a final. This is when we see kind of, not so much, everybody else is kind of like, okay, that makes sense. In the after show, they said that Ace kind of did the worst on the losing team, I think. So it kind of was, another factor to be like, this is why we're putting you in, but more so it seemed like Ace took it kind of personally. He called them all monsters. It was a good little bit of drama, but it was kind of like, I'm sorry, Ace, someone's got to go first, but you know what? After all that, they come to the conclusion, everybody votes for Ace, and you know how to fix the whole situation? You have a party, and not only a party, a themed party. Yeah, I know Double Agents just had an 80s party, but there was only 7 of them, 10 of them. How many people were still in the house? It wasn't as fun, especially when they're shoved in a little igloo in the back of the house. This was a good old-fashioned challenge, 90s themed party in the house, everybody drinking, standing on countertops, giving toasts, just doing it right. Dance party. This is they were letting loose, they were having fun, and that is something we don't see on the challenge. It doesn't seem like any game was talked, which is great, because on Double Agents, every time they go to the party, someone's coming up to ask for don't put me in, or what are you doing? We had that fight with CT and Fessy. It's just, the parties there haven't been the same in a long time. So this party, mixed with everything else, perfect mix of nostalgia. And we move on to the first main event, really. I'm not gonna count that first challenge. This is what we talk about, the eliminations, and I think we've all been waiting to see, are they gonna do gimmicky eliminations? Are they gonna do classic eliminations? Are they gonna do some of the new school eliminations? What are they gonna do? Well, the elimination floor this season is called the Arena, and when we walk in, there's just a ring on the ground, and anybody that's watched the challenge for a long time knows what that means. I don't think Laterrian and Ace know what that means, because I don't think this elimination existed when they were still on the show. Maybe it did, but I don't think they ever had to do it. And we are getting, for our first male elimination challenge, a good old-fashioned pole wrestle. That's right. Good old contact, being wake up, welcome to the challenge, because the challenge was not this physical when a lot of these people were on. Before we get to the actual pole wrestle, of course, Hasela has to decide whether she's going to use the lifesaver on Ace or not, and you know what? Because he called her dead weight on their last challenge together many, many years ago, she's like, nah, he can go into elimination. She just gives a flat, stoic no when TJ asks her. So it's Ace versus Laterrian. Both these guys look like they are physically fit. Laterrian might be a bit bigger than Ace, but it looks like it should shape up to be a very good matchup. And as they start going, this thing gets brutal. I gotta give it to Ace for his grip strength and holding on as long as it seems like he did. But damn, Laterrian got the upper hand on this. He immediately got on top, and it just looked like he was pile driving poor Ace into the ground. I think Anissa kind of summed it up best.
Ace looks like he's being plunged into a toilet. Literally, plunging.
Man, and just like that, while we have a lot of history repeating itself in the best ways, for poor Ace, his history is repeating itself as he is the first casualty of the Challenge All-Stars, and he is going home. Man, let me tell you, if this is a taste of what's to come with these eliminations, I am here for it. They are not messing around. They're not making this game easier because these people are now in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. No, they're keeping it real, keeping it 100. And I wish that it was longer than 9 episodes, because we gotta do everything in 9 episodes. The main challenge, as much as I love it, and I love having a lot of episodes, the last few seasons, once they've gotten towards the end, it just starts to drag. So maybe we can find a happy medium. Maybe do like 13 episodes for each. You know what I'm saying? But before I break down the trailer that they gave us of what's to come, I gotta say, it was also very nice to see TJ fist bump everybody on their way out of the arena. And I gotta say, I don't think it's gonna last long, because if you watch the trailer for what's to come, the drama is going to be coming. But before that, overall thoughts on the episode, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. This is everything I wanted it to be. They didn't disappoint. They brought in the cast. Everybody was game and ready to go. The challenges were exciting. The elimination was exciting. We had a little bit of drama, and it felt like a nice welcome home, like a catch-up. Like a catch-up. You know, like everybody, like a reunion. Duh. That's the best word for it. But, yeah, it just was such a good mix of everything that I love of the old challenge and some of the stuff I love of the new challenge. We obviously didn't get to see a lot of people with screen time, unfortunately, so hopefully that happens somewhere down the future. I'm a John A fan. I'm going to lean a little more John A, maybe some Alton. We didn't get a lot of Katie except for that first, confessional, so I need more Katie in my life. And it seems like we're going to get that. So let's talk about this season trailer they gave us. So in the trailer, we get to see some of the challenges that they're going to do. We have, the cast jumping across beams that are sticking out of a moving semi, which the moving semi has become a fan favorite of the main challenge. Lately, it seems like there may be a trivia game as everybody's on a platform over water and somebody drops. There's some swimming challenges, and then we get a glimpse at some of the eliminations, which also seem like classic games. One of them being it's been called Not So Fast, and some other things when you gotta, be attached to the big rope and weave it in, make knots, and then hope that you can undo your challengers or your opponent's knots faster than they do yours. Another classic challenge that we see come through is them chipping away at ice blocks, but also trying to melt ice blocks with their bodies, which they used to do that way back in the day. But of course, back then, less clothes were involved. It was a way different time, but now they're still bringing it back, which is great. We do see that Trishelle is one of the people who goes into that knot tying one, but other than that, the only time we see someone on the elimination floor for real, like that's so exciting, is Arissa telling somebody to F off, and she looks like someone you do not want to mess with. So who is she talking to? Because then we also get TJ a little bit later, talking to someone who's a quitter and hoping to see them never. But right after that, we do see Arissa's face. So it's like, is it creative editing? Are these two going at it? Who on this cast could be quitting? Because it seems like, I don't know, anybody could be quitting for any reason, whether it's injury or it's just too intense or they're just over it. So, it looks like there's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of fights. We see, Trishelle and Katie getting into it. We see Darrell and Anissa, although that might be flipped around to make it seem like it's a fight, but really they're just like playing with each other. And we get Beth and Kendall. And, with this OG Challenge All-Stars, it's kind of like, is there going to be hookups? Well, it seems like there may be some. We see Jemmye and Nehemiah sharing a bet together. So yeah, if this first episode didn't get you excited, I think this trailer would. Like, if you just saw this trailer, you'd be like, holy cow, what is this? This looks like the main challenge. It's so cool. But yeah, I don't know if I can sing enough praises right now for this OG challenge, All Stars. It's just everything. I think the main challenge, the problem we've had with it lately is that it's become so serious. It's become about the drama. It's become about only a certain people getting a storyline, not everybody. And it just becomes, like I said, so much more serious and moody, and not everybody is as likable as they used to be in the old days. And I think the audience is just falling off. Some of the format things haven't been working. Some of the gimmick things haven't been working. But I still watch it. I still love it. I will continue to watch it. There's going to be another season 37. But what I'm hoping is, like I said earlier, that they bring some of these old school people back. There's people that could totally kick ass on the current main challenge with these younger people. I think a Cook could do it. I think... oh man, Alton could definitely go on there. But yeah, I think that this might be the gap to bridge over to the main challenge, and hopefully it'll cause a shakeup in the main challenge, because we're even, we have to get new faces at the main challenge because so many are leaving. That Leroy is retiring. Bananas seems like he's kind of done. He hasn't stuck around after his last win. We still have, CT, we have Anissa, but Nani came back, Teresa came back, but Teresa's done because she's pregnant again. And, you know, I think you just need more of the MTV blood there instead of being overrun by the people from other shows. That's kind of what I miss, is the casting. Even when they would start bringing on Are You the One people, at least it was like in-house MTV, and it just still felt like it was home. But now we have so many Big Brother people, and, you know, people from the UK, which is fine. Kyle's hilarious. I love Kyle. But some of them, it's kind of like, is this stunt casting, or are you really actually picking people who want to be on here? I don't know. I could ramble on and on about what needs to change on the main challenge, but that's basically all I got for the first episode recap of the Challenge All-Stars. I am going to try to do this for all the episodes. Fingers crossed. Also, I gotta say, if you're watching it on Paramount Plus, please go to the show tab and click on the aftermath and watch the aftermath of Devin Simone, who honestly should be the reunion host for every reunion. We don't need these random sports stars that keep doing it. She's great. I do miss her on the challenge, but I think she found her niche of being this host for the aftermath, and she is so good at it. So watch those. Plus, it gives a lot of good insight with some of the people that are on there. But you have to find it on their Paramount Plus page. But that's what I got for now. I promise I am trying to get back into watching all the other shows that I used to recap for this channel. Maybe even some new shows. We're gonna get it done. I'm getting there. You know, I'm slowly getting there. I lost a fight with a skateboard in the street. That's why I have a Band-Aid on my head, which is why I've also taken a little time off. No, you wouldn't even be able to tell. I'm still doing this video with a Band-Aid on, so you don't care. But I'm going to do my best to get back into the groove of things. I do get a lot of messages, and I am horrible at replying. But a lot of people seem like they want the recaps back, so I am going to do my best. I know people want the Riverdale ones. This Is Us, I'm going to try to get back into. I still watch that show. It's still great. It's just a little harder to recap. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get my ass back into gear, you guys. But that's all I got for this recap. Let me know if you watched the Challenge All-Stars. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you still watch the main challenge? Who do you want to see on the second season of All-Stars if they do it? And if they bring more OGs to the main challenge, which one should cross over? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, do whatever. I got a lot more videos all over this channel, random recaps, we got interviews, all kinds of things. So all of you that have stuck around, thank you for watching. And I'm Lisa. I'll see you soon.